Hey guys, James here, back with another video, and today I have a super exciting unboxing for you today. This is the Star Wars battle drone by Propel, as you can see from the branding here. So this is a company which has officially been contracted to make Star Wars drones, and it's really cool because if you get a few drones together, you can actually battle out and actually shoot each other down. So I'll go into that a little bit later when I kind of go through the details of this drone, but big shout out to Propel for pretty much sending this out to me to do this review. Huge thank you. I love Star Wars, as you guys know from my channel. I've uploaded a lot of Star Wars content before, and to do this is amazing, especially for Christmas. This is a huge thing for me. So yeah, let's stop talking and get into what this thing is actually all about. So some of the specs here. So you can see this is what the control looks like. Propel, that's the brand. You can see this is the T-65 X-Wing high performance battle drone. The X-Wing looks amazing, I think, and I'll get into that when I open it up. But this is some of the details on the type of technology. So it uses IAT, so Intelligent Awareness Technology. So this essentially means that it has sensors, it has gyroscopes to allow it to balance itself. You also have speed up to 30 miles per hour. That's actually 56 kilometers per hour if you convert it to kilometers. It's a reverse propulsion system, so the propellers go in reverse, and it's Li-Fi. So pretty much that's, instead of using 2.4 gigahertz frequencies or any other traditional ways of communication, it's using this new technology called Li-Fi. And actually some of the drones, the high-end market drones like DJI, they're using Li-Fi as well. So that's great to see it in this drone, which is considered, you can almost say it's a toy, but we'll see. So there's a companion app that you can go with it. There's a simulator inside the companion app, and you actually have a live battle mode, which gives up a heads-up display of kind of the status of the game and all that stuff. So really exciting stuff. Let's get into it because I'm super excited. I just want to see what this actually looks like. In case I forget, links in the description below if you want to go ahead and grab this. In Australia, it's going to cost you $199. In the US, it's going to cost you roughly about 125, 140, depending on where you get it from. But I'll leave those links in the description. So, pretty standard packaging. So we lift this off, and it's pretty much exactly the same. So, it just has this cover. And if we open this up, we should have the drone itself. Okay, so looks like we'll just take everything out one by one. Looks like there's 4 boxes. So I love it how they've got that tab, which allows you to easily pull things out. Oh, there's a lot of things inside. Okay, so be aware that they do have a limited edition kind of case box. That's actually really nice. So when you lift it off, it's like this clear case. It's got LEDs and everything. It kind of makes it more of a showpiece. So when you're not using it, you can stick it in there. That's going to cost you an extra $100 Australian, but this is just the standard version. All right, so this is all the stuff that you get. They're all labeled. Let's go one by one and see what we get, and start with the documentation. So, high performance battle drone. It tells you how to essentially use it. So this is the special edition case that I was talking to you about. You can see it's obviously screwed on, and that's essentially it. Many different languages. But we're only going to worry about the first one here. So very easy setup. We'll get into that later. You also have a warranty card. So it's 1 year limited warranty within Australia and New Zealand. And I'm sure it's the same for other countries as well. You have this special booklet, which I'm actually quite excited to see what's inside. It's a pilot's handbook. So pilot's handbook, all these different things, very detailed. Wow, okay. And this is just purely in English, so very intensive guide. I will definitely be reading this when I get into this. So let's look at the extra accessories. We'll save the best for last. So looks like we've got some extra laser cannon tips. we've got this wrench, looks like it. So we have extra propellers, 2 sets of 4, A and B labeled. You also get some extra screws and some washers, I guess. Wall charger and batteries. Ooh, okay. This is interesting. So this is the wall charger. Is this the battery? That would be pretty awesome if that front of the X-Wing was actually the battery. Wow, okay, that's very interesting. So pretty much this is the battery. It's the cockpit with a little R2 unit, probably R2-D2 in it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So you just dock it in to charge. It's a USB charger. So it has to charge through USB. You can see here, pretty much just connect this to here and you're good to go. Very, very light. It's not a very sturdy charger. It's got the logo on it, Propel, and then you just, you know, look at the connectors, you dock it in and that's it. You're good to go. So you can charge the USB, or they give you the wall adapter with the 2 different country types. So this is like Malaysia, China. And this is Australia, so we're obviously going to be using this. So plug it in, and you plug this in, and there you go, you're charging away. Very easy. Training cage. So they give you this extra cage frame, essentially that's what it is. Kind of like training wheels for a drone, just so that it protects it from all those side bumps if you're not really confident in, you know, flying it without it. So that's pretty cool. Okay, controller. This one's pretty beefy, this guy. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a really hefty controller. I will say that. It's really hefty. Even though you don't need it, I just like it when it feels high quality. It just gives you that extra kind of peace of mind. But essentially, plastic sticks, they may be metal lined, I'm not sure, but they could be metal lined. They feel metal. This bottom bit is definitely plastic though. So it's kind of plastic with a little bit of metal on top. But it has these spikes, which you can see, which is definitely good for grip. So when you put your thumb there, that's going to be really nice. Very high quality. You have these 4 buttons, and you have these buttons, and then you have this extra thing, which I'm assuming is, oh, it's for your phone, of course. What else would it be? It's of course for your phone. I'm so dumb. And the batteries live under here. You can see there's a little arrow, and then we'll take the screws off, but we'll get into that later. There's a speaker as well. Uses Bluetooth technology to connect to your phone, which is really cool. Lucasfilm Limited, so it's officially branded. Has this nice grip. That's rubber, and obviously that makes it really nice to hold for long sessions, and you're not going to be fatigued or tired from gripping plastic. So it's just kind of like these extra details that they really put in, and the fact that this is like it's an optional thing, like you don't have to have it on. That's really nice. You know, just that the fact that you can use it with your phone, or you don't have to. You know, that's. It's this stuff which makes it good quality, you know what I mean? There's a trim here as well, or maybe not be a trim, but we'll see. And there's this Rebel button, which we'll find out what that is later, and LEDs. So this is the controller. Very happy with it. First impressions. Finally, we get to the goods. The good thing is the drone. Here we go. And that's it. There's nothing else. I'm just like, whoa. I'm like fanboying so hard right now. I thought they had 2 batteries. I read somewhere, but maybe that's only for the special edition, which would make sense, but I guess not. So look at this. The detail on this is amazing for a drone. Look at that. So on the back, you can see four lights for the 4 boosters on the back. You have these 2 lights, which is kind of like your landing lights, and you just look at the detail. See, like that R2 unit there, the top here, the reverse engines. It's a bit pale for my liking. I would have preferred it to be a bit more saturated, but that is really nice. The propellers are obviously clear, which is really nice. If you can see, they're slightly labeled A and B. So that's labeled A, and this is labeled B. So I'm assuming it's the actual propeller design, because they do spin differently. So the way a quadcopter works is that these two spin the same direction, these two spin the same direction. This allows it to pivot this way, up, down, left, right, by varying how fast each propeller goes, essentially. Yeah, that's essentially it. I'm excited to actually just test this out. All right, gotta stick some batteries in there. Alright, so I'll have some rechargeable batteries, which I will use because they're probably the best.
Feel the force.
I don't know where.
The alien needs you. Insert 4 AA batteries into the battery compartment.
That's interesting. May the force be. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm trying to not freak out over how exciting this actually is. Okay, I don't know where it's getting its power from. Okay, and then we're gonna screw this in. Ooh, what's this? A screwdriver. That is amazing. Like, I'm actually so surprised. Everything is in here. I didn't even notice this. Look, there's a screwdriver right here. You don't even need a separate screwdriver. It comes with one. You just put it back in and it lives there. You don't have to carry one. That is awesome. That is so good. Okay, let's read the instructions, because that's always a good thing to do. Install propellers. Propellers are installed. So that's what this silver wrench is for. So essentially, you use this silver wrench to remove the propellers, insert drone batteries. So let's do that. Just following the instructions in order. Okay, so insert drone batteries. Okay, turn on controller. Okay, I want to put on the guard thing though. So it's this way. Okay, that makes sense. Very easy. So that's how you do it. So it's like that. Very easy. Okay. That lives here. What else? We've got to turn on the controller. So press the button for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Whoa. That's intense. Okay. And then sync. Push the left gimbal. Push left gimbal up, then down. There's a battery door actually. So you gotta... So this releases the battery, this locks the battery, right? Now, I think this will work now.
May the force be with you. X-wing engaged. Ready for takeoff.
Nah, still not taking off. All right, we got to figure out what else. So after figuring out how to actually take off this drone and fly it around, I went to a park to try to test its capabilities. However, I ran into some issues when it kept drifting back to the back right, and I had issues with takeoff even though I was on a full battery. So I contacted Propel and I tried to troubleshoot the issue, and turns out that they believe it was a faulty motor, so they actually just sent me a new one. If it was in your case that you would have this issue, most likely you would go back to the retailer that you bought it from and you would explain the issue, and they would probably just either issue a refund or they would issue with a new one. Alternatively, they would maybe perhaps send it off for repair. So a few days later, I received the drone and I went out to test it again, and this is what happened. Hey guys, so we're back a few days later. As you know from the previous bit, the propeller wasn't working, or that particular motor, so Propel actually sent out a new one, which is awesome, and I've tested it and it's fully working. So now we're back here at my friend's Victor's garden, and we're gonna just take this for a spin, see what stuff it can do, just in a bit more bigger open space. Pretty much the same thing. We're gonna set it off, we're gonna try the different modes, and we're just gonna see how this drone performs. Now it is a little bit windy, as you may be able to tell, so it will affect the drone's performance and flight time. Obviously, if it needs to compensate itself, then it's going to have to fight the wind, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's start putting in the battery. So I'll probably turn off the lights as well to conserve battery.
May the force be with you.
All right, so it's synced up. Sync the gyro. turn off those lights and let's do a auto launch. All right, so clean takeoff this time. So this is just the first speed. All right, so I'll get a close-up of that hovering towards you. You can see, I'll face that towards the camera. Oh. See, it's trying to fight the wind at the moment, so, but yeah, I can give you a close-up shot. Has the red LEDs for the back, which is pretty cool. And then you have the X-Wing size. Now, obviously, they don't kind of go into attack mode, which would be pretty awesome if they did. That would be so cool, but unfortunately they don't, but that's all right. But yeah, as you can see, it's trying to fight the wind. This drone still does shift to the right a bit. If I do leave it, it kind of just drifts. So now it's really trying to fight that wind. So let's land this thing, let's try a different mode. So with training mode, it pretty much allows you to fly it with limits. So it will create an artificial box around the drone and an artificial ceiling and floor, which pretty much means that it's very hard to crash. I'm not saying that you can't crash it, you can definitely crash it, but it makes it more difficult. So let's try that and see, and it's like kind of slower controls as well. So let's try that. So same takeoff procedures. Now, when I try to boost it up, it kind of gives me a tactical vibration on the control to say, hey, I'm trying to exit that zone. I'm surprised it's not giving me one for the left and right. You kind of see how smooth it flies. It's a lot smoother on the training mode. So that I got a vibration there. Let's see. Oh, it's probably because I'm hitting the floor, that's why. So it's mainly, I guess mainly it's a ceiling and a floor. That's what it's trying to do, but not necessarily a left and a right. Okay, so the wind was clearly overpowering it there, so that's fine. So I wouldn't suggest flying it in a day like this where it's quite windy. So let's take training mode off. Let's go into normal mode, but we'll use the different speed modes and I'll tell you which one's which. So just kind of let the wind die down for a bit. Okay, so this is speed mode 1. So you can kind of see how fast this is kind of moving back and forth. So this is left, this is right. And it kind of, when you kind of hard to try to bring it back, it kind of does it a bit slowly. All right, so that's speed 1. This is speed 2. See how it's much more responsive? All right. Okay. So you can definitely move it around a lot more faster, a lot more responsive. And then this is speed 3, which is even faster. Oh, don't want to do that. So it's much more responsive. They say you shouldn't really use speed 3 unless you're very, very, very comfortable with the drone, just because you can over tilt forward and backwards, which is dangerous. So I'll keep it back to speed 1. So this is speed 1 again. Now I'll try to get Victor get a shot of this. It's going to do a flip. So it's going to do a flip to the right. So that's just a trick you can do. So you just press one button and does that. So I'll show you again. So it kind of moves up and then it goes down, and then I can do one that's on the left. And then at the same time, I'm getting like, I don't know if you can hear, but I'm getting like audio feedbacks from the controller. Like the guy just said Yahoo. So last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a manual takeoff and control. So if you just zoom in on this controller, Victor. So essentially, there's this, which is called the barometer control. And what you do is currently, this is kind of like auto, it goes back to the middle, right? And that's kind of like just to keep it safe, and that's for the automatic stuff. But what you can do is you go all the way to the top and you kind of click it. You have to apply quite a bit of force actually, and that kind of activates free mode. So now it's actually ready to go. And when I pull the stick down, all the motors will cut immediately, and when I pull that, that's like full power to the motors. So this is kind of what you're more likely to find on most kind of drones. this kind of style. So I was kind of expecting this when I actually opened this drone, but I found out that it did have an automatic takeoff and landing sequence built in. But yeah, let's try this one, see if it's any different. We're just going to use speed 1, see how we go. So this does require a lot more finesse on your throttle because it won't automatically try to hover in place. You're gonna have to try to do that manually by doing it yourself. See how high this gets. This can get pretty high. I don't want to go too high just in case it kind of flies. So when it kind of comes down hard like that, you're gonna have to like really push the controls to compensate with the motors. So if you can see like the X-Wing, the 4 kind of engines are flashing, and that's kind of when it experiences some sort of crash or some sort of reset and you can't reactivate it from the controller. So far, the only way I know to kind of bring it back is to turn off the controller, turn it back on again. And then once you turn it on, you just do your normal reset, and that's the only way to sync it from what I found. So this is just going to be quickly with the controller's perspective so that you can see what I'm doing with my other camera kind of showing the rough movement of the drone. So this is just going to be the normal kind of takeoff standard auto takeoff, auto land mode with speed 1, and I'll kind of switch between. So it's kind of drifting by itself. That's right, you can kind of see I'm trying to compensate for it. So do a flip, do a left flip. So if you've never flown a drone, I would suggest you actually use the built-in app simulator, which I'll show in a bit when I'm back in my studio. But that's really, really good if you've never flown a drone before. That kind of gets you used to the different controls. Okay, so we're gonna switch speed. This is medium speed now. The speed of the flip is still roughly the same. So forward, backwards, left, right. I'm not rotating the drone just because I'm still not used to getting my head around the controls being inverted when it kind of faces towards you. And so I kind of panic. So that's why I'm still flying it one direction. But there are people out there who are really used to that. Let's activate training. So you can hold that. You can see it's turned blue. And so now everything's really, really slow now. So if you've never flown a drone, or if you're buying this, you know, for your son or daughter, then this is probably the best mode to put them in because it makes it very, very difficult to crash, essentially. So it's very, very, very slow. There is no left-right box though. Apparently there was supposed to be one, but I don't think there is. But there's a ceiling and there's a floor. So when I move it up, it's vibrating and won't let me go above that. When I go below, it's vibrating and won't let me go that. So it's pretty much just like a 1 meter ceiling essentially. So you can see there's like some green tips. That's because when it hit the ground, obviously it's picking up all that grass. And you can see some grass there, but let's keep going. So once the drone's actually working properly, it's actually really, really fun to use. You know, compared to when it wasn't working before. So last mode again, just quickly, you can stick your phone in if you're gonna play live. This shows you all your battle scores. These are actually your lives if you're playing with another drone. So you enter kind of like an arena mode. And so each life that you lose will kind of deduct. This does the gyro, which I shouldn't have done. This turns off the lights. And this is your takeoff button as well. So let's go last mode, barometer mode. You have to put it down first before it's ready to activate, and then we're gonna go. So I'm trying to compensate. So it's this one's a lot more trickier to get your head around. Just because you gotta manually compensate when it drops. See, that's not gonna do it for you. So usually when the drone will flip, it will kind of boost it up by itself. But this, you're gonna have to make sure that you get that compensation in. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna go back into the studio. We're gonna talk about the app and some of the other things on this drone. Alright, so hey guys, we're back in the studio again, and this is just pretty much the wrap up of this entire video of all that's been. It's been a very interesting ride over a few days. I usually don't make videos across a few days, but just because of all the issues that we had and having to contact Propel to get, you know, a new drone and everything, it's come to this long, but we're finally here. Now, I did initially say that I was going to show you how the app worked and everything, but just because of time restrictions, I haven't had the chance to actually do a full video of that. So here's a bit of snippets. As you can see, there's different modes. There's the training mode, there's the live mode. And I would highly suggest, if this is your first time flying the drone, or if you've never flown a drone before, or if you have kids who want to fly it, then get them started on the app. That's the best way to get used to the controls if you've never had flying experience with the drone before. It's really, really good, very, very extensive, and there's heaps of missions that you can do to then kind of work your way up before you even start with the drone. Now, I know that, you know, kids and stuff will get really excited that they want to actually touch the drone, but however, just for the safety of the drone itself and for those around them, it's probably best that you actually do get them to do that tutorial, just because this is a very fragile piece of equipment. It is a drone. It does have blades. It can hurt. It can injure people. So you want to make sure that you're fully trained, or the person that's flying it is fully trained before they're doing it. So I had previously had experience with the drone, but actually using the app was really, really good, just to say this is exactly how the drone should be flying and all that. So definitely suggest that you do that. It's probably the best advice I can give you before flying this drone. But once you've done that and you're quite comfortable, then you can begin to fly. Make sure you fly in a large space. I think one of the issues which I had at the start, at the very beginning of this video, was I tried to fly this in a small space, and when I maybe knocked it against something, it just didn't have enough space to fly, and that's why I didn't have enough time to react in terms of getting the controls back. So it may have been a faulty motor. That's what Propel say, but it is very well possible as well that I actually somewhat damaged the drone, even though there wasn't any physical damage in it. But you know, once I kind of realized, okay, I have to take this seriously, I have to actually make sure I have a good amount of space before I actually fly it, that's when, you know, things started to work well, and this drone actually began to fly really, really nicely. Those are some of the very, very important safety tips to take into account. In terms of how the drone flies, it flies quite nicely. You know, just the whole design and the fact that you're flying an X-Wing just makes it that much more better. It is very lightweight. However, you know, just when I was starting to get into you know, flying the drone, we realized that, oh, it ran out of batteries. So I reckon Propel should have included a second battery, or at least sell it, because I'm trying to find online to get spare batteries and I just can't find any. So, you know, at least having 2 or 3 if you want to have a serious session of flying. Now, given that it does charge actually quite quickly, they say 30 minutes, but I found that sometimes it was charging in like 20 minutes, and that was really, really good. So the charging time isn't that long, but think about it, you only have about 6 to 8 minutes of flight time. It depends on what mode and what speed you have it as, have it set to as well. So you got to consider that. In terms of the controller, I really do like the controller. It feels really nice. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic controller that's going to fall apart or that's going to break if you drop it. And I keep forgetting that there is this screwdriver inside, which is so cool. I'm using 4 rechargeable batteries, and I've flown this at least through at least 6 to 8 different charge cycles, and I haven't had these ran out yet. So the remote control battery life is pretty good. I would suggest to use rechargeable batteries, just because, you know, you can just keep recharging it. You don't have to, you know, spend all the alkaline batteries to play it, because I don't think you'll be playing it that often. Remember, this controller is Bluetooth compatible. That's how you sync up with your phone, and that's how you get into the battle mode, which I showed just previously as well. A thing to note is when you want to use manual, you have to, I was just kind of doing this, you actually have to push it, and you have to apply quite a bit of force to get it to that manual mode. So be wary of that. And then it's fine, and then you just release it. I think I was a bit confused because when I was moving it down, the stick was moving. So you can see that a little bit here. But yeah, you just move it till it clicks. You do have to push it quite a bit, and don't worry, you won't break it. These triggers feel nice. The phone holder is amazing. I love that. The grips on the side really go a long way. Just being able to carry it and you feel that grip there, you know you're not gonna slip out of your hands. Having the you know, the lanyard clip is also really handy, and the fact that, you know, there's LEDs to indicate, everything's just really simple. It's very easy to read. It's great. I love it how they give you a lot of spare parts. So one spare part for each kind of laser cannon. You have spare parts for screws if you do happen to take them off, which I'm not sure why you would, but you do have spare screws for that. Spare propellers, which I did use and I did change over, so that's awesome. As you can see, these propellers are slightly green from the grass, but it's still working, it's still fine, you know, maybe just wash it off a bit, and yeah, but these propellers are quite flexible, so you don't have to worry too much about breaking them. So when we come to talking about pricing and where to get it, so for me, the best place to get it would be from JB Hi-Fi in Australia. They're selling this for $199. This is the standard edition, and then if you want the special edition case that has like the music when you lift up the case and like the clear glass for storage, and it looks really, really nice. If you're a real Star Wars fan and you want this as a collector's item as well, then I would suggest to go get that. That may or may not come with a second battery, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's really, really nice. I think just the design is really good as well. But they're selling this basic with the basic box for $199. Now you have to ask, is it worth $199? Now, if you're buying this for your kid and you're not going to be using it yourself as an adult, I would say that it's maybe not that worth it, just because a lot can go wrong. Unless your kid is very proficient in flying drones, which there are kids out there who can, or unless you're very strict about saying, you know, do the training and then you fly it, it's going to be a little bit of a risk, you know, placing this in the hands of a child. Now, if you're a grown-up and you want, you know, you love drones, you're drone enthusiasts, and you love flying drones, and you're a pro at drones, 100% is worth it, because this drone can do so much. For me, my drone skills aren't that great, and so I kind of just went left, right. I didn't even turn it the other way because it's just really confusing. However, if you are really good at drones and you can kind of get drone placement well and really utilize this, then this is going to be very worth it. $199 for a Star Wars drone that has battle mode. If you're going to be using that battle mode, it just becomes more worth it because that's an extra feature. However, if you're not going to use the battle mode, then it's just kind of like you're paying that $199 and you're not using, like, I don't know, $50 because you're not using that functionality, because obviously they have built in that functionality within the drone and within the controller and the app and everything. You're paying for everything. So yeah, I would suggest, you know, maybe try to convince a buddy or convince someone else to buy it so that you can have these kind of battle simulations, and it'll be fun. But $199, it's decent. It's not overly priced. I think if this was $299, then I'll probably say it's not worth it. $199, it's not that bad. Remember, you are buying a fully certified Star Wars authentic product, so Propel did have to buy the license to make this drone, so you're also paying for that as well. Now, given you can buy drones for like $30, right, and they essentially do the same thing, but this is a Star Wars product. You have the Star Wars feel, you have the Star Wars design, right? You have the music in this controller built in, you have all the voice lines and everything. That's what you're paying for. You're not just paying for an ordinary drone. If you wanted to buy an ordinary drone, then go ahead and buy an ordinary drone. But this is a Star Wars drone. You're doing it for the experience. That's a big part of what this drone is about. Or else it wouldn't be rated at $199. But yeah, you're also paying for technology and everything. To summarize, the things which I didn't like was the fact that the propellers are literally on the very bottom. I know they want to kind of keep the aesthetics on the top, right? That's why it looks nice. However, you know, you kind of have to sacrifice something. But if you are concerned about that, just use the prop guard and it's all good. Other things which I didn't like is only one battery included. Now, obviously, I didn't have a chance to test out the battle mode because I only have the one drone. However, I do see that being quite fun to do. However, with a 6 to 8 minute flight time, I'm not sure how far you'll get with actually battling. Like, it's gonna be like, oh, you're gonna battle and then you have one round and then you gotta wait half an hour to charge it again. So I get that the flight time is 6 to 8 minutes. That's fine. It's just maybe give a second battery or provide ways for people to buy those second batteries. That'll be awesome. the way to configure the music and kind of the volume is a little bit fiddly. I think that they should have just added maybe a button for music volume and another button for like voice volume, because I wanted the voice volume loud, like for example, like ready for takeoff and like calibration and stuff, but I wanted the music and the random voices softer. So if anything, they should have added a separate controller there, or have it being controlled easily through the app. That's another alternative, but that's just nitpicking as well. There's so many good things to like about this. Remember, you are paying for a premium product. You're not paying for a product that's like flaky. This controller is really, really nice. The whole battery, you know, just even this, the whole design and everything is so good. It looks worn, which is really, really nice. Apparently they say it's hand painted. Not sure about that, but yeah, I think it's a great product. It's fun to play for sure. I'm definitely going to be using this more in the future. It's not like I'm going to sit this on my shelf. However, yeah, you do have to make sure that you do know how to use drones, because that's really important. You don't want to crash it. If you're a pro drone pilot, then this is definitely worth it. There's many, many things, and it'll be really, really cool to actually bring this up to the full 45 kilometers per hour. That would be awesome. But the battery's going to run out pretty quick if you do that. That's pretty much it. Maybe you want to get this for a very, very last minute gift for someone, for your kids, for your best friend, or for your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, right? This is, I think, a great gift that they're going to love. So I'm going to be leaving links in the description below to get these on Amazon and eBay. So if you are interested, please use those links. It really does support this channel. It goes a long way. Recently, my Amazon affiliate has been, you know, really, really growing, and that's, in my mind, that's like, okay, people are really using my affiliate links, and therefore I can spend more time doing this because I'm actually earning profit from this channel. So I really, really appreciate you guys doing that. Huge thank you for everyone who has, and please continue to support this channel, and I can continue to make content like this well into the future. But yeah, I really hope you like this video. Huge shout out again to Propel for reaching out to me to send this over. I really, really appreciate it. It was one of my big dreams that I never thought possible, to be sent a Star Wars product to review, but you guys did it, and I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. So big shout out to you guys, and it's been a pleasure communicating with you as well. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know what you think. Like it if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or any comments about this particular drone or anything else, and I'll try to get around to answering those for you as soon as I can. Share this around to people who you think would enjoy watching this video and the drone and the whole kind of journey that I went on. Subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Big, big Merry Christmas to you all, and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys in the next one.